Discussion of various committees. Gentlemen, we're fixed to get dinged on our state audit for some things that I mentioned in the very first meeting, like our bylaws and our rules being in conflict. So we need to set some committees. We need a budget. We probably need a budget finance committee. We probably need a bylaws and a rules committee. And I would like to do a citizens advisory committee. I can set these things. I've looked for board input. I've looked for people to volunteer for this. Nobody seems to be interested other than the rush committee that's fixing to come up. So if nobody volunteers, I'm going to start looking in the community and putting some committees together so they can come back at us and tell us where some of the issues are, because it's not staff's job to go run this down. You can't do this in 60 hours a week. We need some help. And the board, if the board's not going to get involved in it, then somebody else is going to have to get involved in it, because we got to run it down. There's a lot of this stuff that we can fix before we get dinged in May on the annual audit. We have a lot of test permits out that we probably need to get up for hearing. We have conflicts in between our bylaws and our rules that need to be fixed. It has to take action by this board. Nobody can fix that. I can't go and just edit it.
So what are the different committees you're talking about? You got budget and finance committee.
I think we need a budget and finance committee. I think we need a bylaws and a rules committee. And I think we need a citizens advisory committee.
Is there a drought management plan committee in there anywhere? Or
Nope.
It's going to be separate.
The board wants to set that, you can.
There better be one of those too then.
The board can set that, because I'm going to tell you something. Drought management doesn't make it rain.
Well, are you saying it's just rain, or what are you saying?
I'm saying a drought management plan is not going to make it rain.
So?
Exactly. You're trying to do a drought management plan in the middle of a drought. You're a little late.
That's when you do drought.
You're just a little bit late.
That's when you do drought management plans, Wes. That's what years ago.
No, you got to have an effect before you get to the drought for them to have any impact. Because at this point, they're not going to do anything.
You said a citizens advisory.
So what are you saying? Don't get a drought plan?
I don't understand why you think it's a priority whenever you have a state audit coming out in May. And you got a whole bunch of stuff that are a priority.
So you're laughing that the drought management plan, the lack of one, is funny?
I'm laughing at you.
That's funny.
I'm laughing at you thinking that that's a priority with what we've got on our plate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think that's pretty comical.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Well, you should have been down here 5 days this past week with 6 state auditors and 8 computers sitting at this desk. Wouldn't you work?
I don't need to tell them their business. They know what to do. Mm-hmm. They'll tell you what they found. So let's just wait and see what they found.
Yeah, let somebody else do all the work. I'm just going to come down here and complain once a week.
That's
okay.
Exactly how it's working, Wes. But
I see how it works.
Okay, man, just keep talking and highlight yourself.
What different committees are you talking about?
Budget and finance.
Budget and finance. These are just off the cuff things that I think that we need to have. I think we need to have budget and finance committee. I think we need to have bylaws and rules committee. I think we need to have a citizens advisory committee. I think there's some other things that we come up with. You want to have a drought contingency?
And you don't think we need a drought plan committee?
I have already told you it's not a priority right at the moment.
That's number 11.
Number 11 is a drought management plan, Charlie, not a committee. Like there was a committee, and we can talk about how well that worked.
We can get that up right here at 11, okay? Because there's no action to be taken on what we're talking about.
That's true.
I brought this up. I asked this to be put on the agenda because I'm trying to get input, and I've been trying to get input from my fellow board members for 3 months.
All right. I think there needs to be a drought plan committee, drought management plan committee.
No, well, thank you for finally telling me something.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
There you go.
Okay, moving on. Brush control committee, director of the board.
Well, no, back up on this committee thing.
Yeah.
You made the comment that you want to head them off at the pass, essentially, for try to get some of this going before we get dinged. I think your word was dinged by the state. What Janelle said is, they were here, so they've done their field work. All right. And so now they're going to do a preliminary report, run it by a supervisor, get comments from us, and then take it back to the supervisor and eventually to someone up the line there. My point is, wouldn't it be better to wait until we hear from them to see what specific recommendations they make?
I told this board in December, we had a conflict in between our meeting dates and the bylaws and the rules. And no one has taken any action or been any concern about it whatsoever. We're going to get written up for it in that audit, I guarantee you. And we could easily fix it in between now and then. But nobody seems to think that's a priority.
That's
That's
more
not
important than a
important.
drought plan, Wes. You gotta be kidding.
Oh, you don't know what day you're meeting on.
I know what day we're meeting on.
You know what day we're meeting on in the rules,
I
but
don't
the
think
bylaws
that's-
say something
I don't
completely
think that's
different.
gonna be a major finding of the audit, but just.
What
Well,
do the-
you might ought to
what
read
do
a
the
few of
bylaws-
them.
I
what do
think
the
there's gonna
bylaws
be a
say?
lot more important
What do the
things than that.
bylaws say?
Yeah.
9 o'clock on Thursday morning.
But when I first got on the board, we voted to change that.
Yes. That's,
Well, It didn't get followed through on.
it wasn't changed in the bylaws. You voted to change it to 6 o'clock in the evening on Wednesday, but we didn't get it put in the bylaws.
Can we make a motion to change the bylaws to where everybody can come to the meeting?
No, because it's not on the,
You
it's
have to
not,
put it on the agenda.
it's not on the agenda.
Well, we can put it on there for next month.
Why didn't you put it on there, Wes? If you want it on there, put it on there.
Don't be a smart ass.
I've been trying to get, I've been trying.
Janelle, you wanna repeat that, please?
No, I'm not gonna repeat it.
Okay, well,
I'm sure
speak into
your,
the mic. the
I'm
next
sure your
time.
little toy picked it up.
It did, and that's,
That's
you know,
fine.
that's
I
how it
don't care.
works.
I just asked you not to be a smart ass.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was.
Can we,
We
can
had
we
these conversations
request it
before
to be
David.
on the next meeting to where
You
we
can-
can change the bylaws?
Yes, sir.
Make a
You most
motion to do
certainly,
that?
you don't need a motion to do that. All you have to do is put in.